Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, gosh.
All
right. Here we are. Real in the Field, episode 5. We're back with a new episode. Man, yeah, we're climbing the charts still.
Taking off. Yep.
Oh, man. Shout out to our Belgian buddy who we still can't find. We can't seem to track this guy down.
MIA.
Don't know where this guy's
Listen to all 4 episodes, too.
Yeah, he's listening to all 4. So, Belgian buddy, wherever you're at, write us. I'm going to give you an email address. You can contact us. Write into tony@realtyanaya.com. Let us know who you are, and let's make some connection.
Yeah, let's solve this mystery.
Yeah. So, what do we got? We got some sponsors.
Yes.
We got a couple sponsors from the last episode. Yeah, we've got Caliber Real Estate, my brokerage, generous sponsors, and DK Donuts of Orange, Adam Vaughn, another generous sponsor of the show.
Adam's the man.
If you're in the Orange County area, stop by DK Donuts, across the street from our alma mater, El Medina High School. Pick up some donuts. What donut you picking up? What's your favorite?
I'm a chocolate bar guy.
Chocolate bar.
What about you?
Classic. They make a really good donut. It's kind of like secret menu kind of thing. The Cronut.
Oh.
Yeah, Cronut.
Fancy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hybrid of a glazed donut and a croissant.
Oh.
I think that's where the name comes
lovely.
from. Anyways, great stuff. All the donuts over at DK's are awesome. So thanks to our sponsors. So what do we got for this episode? I see you've done a little cleaning up here.
a little manscaping.
Got rid of that push broom, huh?
I did. I cleaned it up. Just felt like it was time.
Yeah.
During football season, I usually let everything grow out, and then after football, I will mess around, do a stash or do something, and then looked at myself today, and I was like, we got to clean this up.
Clean up. Get it all out. Start fresh.
Look good.
Yeah.
Feel good. Play good. All that usual stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's like when out in NAU when they would burn all of the forest.
Yeah.
Take it down to the to the roots.
Yes.
It's just going to grow back stronger and thicker, right?
Next episode, it's all going to be back. Don't sweat. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Feeling good. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So what do we got? What do we got going on in the sports world?
Okay. So the combine has officially started.
Yeah.
Watched some of that today. Did you get a chance to see anything?
I did not get a chance to see much of it. I think I caught a few clips here and there.
Yeah. So just some position groups were going today. I saw some DBs run. So everyone's there doing their thing.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do with their draft.
All right, so say you're looking for a quarterback. You're at the combine, you're scouting out some players, and you got quarterback in mind. What are you looking for, and how's that play out?
See, quarterback's tough because the combine has fooled some people.
Yeah.
Right? You take a Mitchell Trubisky from a few years back.
Oh.
Good-looking guy, shows
By all
up.
accounts, yeah.
Looking the part, got some big old mitts on him, so
Yeah.
throws a decent ball to some receivers, and then all of a sudden his stock goes up. But the dude played 11 games his entire college career,
Yeah.
right? But for whatever reason, looks good at the combine. On the flip side, let's take Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback right now.
Yeah.
No scholarship offers out of high school. Goes to
Yeah.
a junior college. The only offer he has is Wyoming.
Yeah.
Goes to Wyoming. Still not really a big name guy.
Yeah.
Goes to the combine, tears it up. And then the Bills are like, let's take a chance on that kid. Let's go. So it could work out.
Yeah. It's always probably, hindsight, you can
For
look
sure.
back and say, we made the right call, or, the proof is kind of in the pudding. You'll see what that player does. But so, generally you're just trying to get a feel. You're trying to work the numbers more than likely of what the probability is that this player is going to produce. You're going off statistics. You're going off the intangibles.
Dude, and you never know.
Yeah.
You
How
never
much
know.
of that, is there a line item for the personality side of it or the leadership side of it, those things that maybe you won't see play out as far as the numbers are concerned, but a lot of the stuff like the locker room stuff, picking up your teammates, things like that, how much can you get from a player at the combine, that part of it?
Yeah, all those interviews, those guys are there, all week, or those 4 days or whatever.
Yeah.
And they are asking questions nonstop. So not only are they asking like interviews, those guys are taking tests. They're calling their college coach. Hey, we want a full evaluation.
Yeah.
I've even heard of like they'll go back and they'll call the high school
Oh, wow. Really?
coaches and see, because man, if you have
was he
off the
like?
field issues,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Like you don't want that in your
Yeah,
organization.
you don't want that. I mean, what's the term always used? Cancer in the locker room, right?
Gosh, so off the field issues, is he, a good character guy?
Yeah.
Is he a leadership guy? Is he a vocal guy?
Yeah.
Does he do it by example? Does he study film? Right?
Yeah.
Take Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray plays video games.
Yeah.
And that's why the Cardinals like kind of suck.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't take it serious. They did a thing on Kyler Murray when like Call of Duty came out.
Oh, geez.
Just how his like production went down. Like
There's
right?
a direct line between
Yeah.
that game coming out.
Doesn't watch film, but that it happens all the time. And those guys, you just try to do as much research as you can.
Yeah.
So when you invest millions of dollars,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, not only is it millions of dollars, but you're talking draft picks, which are, I mean, yes, you can kind of put a number on that, but you've got a couple opportunities dependent on where people are landing in the draft.
and you're trying not to miss.
And you're trying not to miss. You're trying to make that calculated guess, but also take all the things that you've learned from them, watching them in the combine, watching them on film, watching them from their college years, and man, like you're saying, even high school years,
Yeah.
and making an educated, I don't want to say guess, but making an assessment of who they are,
Yeah.
and what that investment's going to be.
But you take in family, like, what do they come from?
Yeah.
Where do they come from? All that's like, dude,
All
they
that
do
plays a
not
part.
leave. They do not leave a stone unturned.
Yeah.
Like they look at everything, like they are kicking the tires and making sure there's nothing wrong with their investment, as they should.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. And if that's going to be quarterback specific, that's going to be the face of your organization. Trevor Lawrence for the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Like, dude, solid guy, probably not like a can't miss guy in the draft.
Yep.
But was it a 100% slam dunk that he was going to be like pretty good? No, you
Yeah.
never know.
Oh man, we can all list off the busts, right? Somebody
Oh,
that was like
gosh.
just like a high pick and then just didn't turn into what the organization thought they were going to be. Maybe sometimes it's it's not the right fit. Maybe they just got some mismatch in the coaching.
Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford was.
Or you go to a bad
man.
organization.
Yeah,
Dude, some organizations are bad.
yeah, straight.
They have bad leadership.
Yeah.
They have bad owners. They
Yeah.
have bad coaches. They are bad.
Yeah,
That's it.
plain and simple.
And you go there, you are destined to be bad. There's nothing you can do about it.
It's-
And that's a shame for some guys. That's where their career goes.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talent that has gone to places, like Cleveland. Sorry to throw that. I know I've got some friends that are big Browns fans, but man, that's just a snake-bitten organization, or it has
Yeah.
been for a long time, and it just seems like everyone that goes through there is just, it just kind of wastes away.
But those places almost like get in their own way.
Yeah.
They don't realize it, but they get in their own way.
I feel like it's just been a culture that has like almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where
Yeah.
everyone just kind of believes that this is the case.
Dude, that's a great way to put it.
And it won't change. Well, at least, I mean, you can kind of see there have been some improvements. I mean, even the Lions. I mean, with Jared Goff, they've kind of somewhat
coach,
turned things
Dan
around.
Campbell.
And new coach,
Yeah.
New energy. They're fighting that fight. They're fighting the what everybody assumes that they're going to be every year.
Yeah, the stigma, the culture.
Stigma. And I feel like that, we've talked about the psychological part of sports, where, you've got some of the most talented athletes, the most capable athletes, and sometimes it just comes down to that one thing, that psychological thing in the fourth quarter, where you're going to believe that you can do it, or you're going to believe that you're going to fail. And when you're on an organization, playing for an organization that has that reputation and has that just snake bitten kind of reputation, it almost is like, well, we're gonna fulfill that prophecy and do those things to make it come true.
Yeah.
But it's tough when you see good players go to organizations that are
Yeah.
and kind of dwindle away.
One of my favorite stories from trying to find a quarterback. because some guys won't go to the combine.
Yeah.
Or they'll go to the combine, they'll just run a 40 but not throw.
Oh, sure.
Or, at their pro day,
Yeah.
when the teams come to their college, then they'll throw because they're throwing to their own receivers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some guys just get hyped up after one season. Like, do you remember Jamarcus Russell? He played.
Of course, yeah.
Right? Huge.
Yeah.
6'6". If you guys don't know who Jamarcus Russell is, look him up.
Yeah.
Like 6'6".
Towering, dude. Big mitts.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Played at LSU,
Yep.
but had like maybe 1-2 years that were good at LSU.
Yeah.
Guy gets drafted to the Raiders.
Yep.
Probably the worst place that guy could have gone.
Yeah.
Okay. But did a little bit to himself. So a little bit of Kyler Murray being lazy.
Yeah.
So the coaches assumed, or kind of like got wind, like, hey, Jamarcus doesn't know the playbook.
Yeah.
Like, the dude doesn't like watch film. He doesn't like do anything. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Just relying on his just athleticism.
just sheer talent and all that stuff. And so a coach gave Jamarcus a DVD. Said, hey, man, watch this tonight.
Yeah.
Come back tomorrow. Tell me what plays you like. We'll install those plays, and we'll run them.
Yeah.
Gives it to him. All right, coach. Yeah, man. Yeah, cool. Comes back the next day. Hey, Jamarcus, what'd you think, man? What'd you think? Oh, coach, let's run all those plays. The DVD was blank.
Oh, shit.
It was a blank DVD.
I thought you were going to say it was like Shawshank Redemption or something.
A blank DVD. And the dude was just like, yeah, coach, let's run all those plays. I think they're all great.
Man. So there's your proof right there.
Yeah,
This guy doesn't.
Just wasn't a pro.
Yeah.
Right? And so is that a coach's fault? Did he not see something at a combine? Did he not see something at a pro day? Like trying to evaluate a guy? Or do you just fall in love with he can throw the ball 70 yards? He can throw the ball.
Well, that's one of the things that, I'm sure as a high school coach, like you can't coach size, you can't coach just pure natural talent, ability, and all of those things. Like when you've got a guy that's that big, that's got that kind of just pure talent.
Yeah.
It's hard to look the other way, and when your eyes are seeing that, and you're seeing that there's this stellar athlete that could be your franchise quarterback, you just have to do those things to get him to that level. I feel like it's like that old we can fix him kind of thing,
dude. And that's where it comes into, because a lot of coaches have egos.
Yeah.
Where they've coached a really long time and they're like, oh, if I had a guy that big, I would make him a all-pro.
Yeah.
If I had a kid that big, I would get him a scholarship.
Yeah.
And so they fall in love with that, right? That ego of like, oh, finally, we got Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
He's 6'6". I'm going to make him, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. And
Well,
that
dude,
ain't the case.
if you don't watch the DVD, so there's just, I think the coaches get in the way a little bit too.
Yeah, that makes sense. You got coaches that think that they can do more. They get a little bit in their own,
Sure.
in their own way, in trying to develop a player that maybe is just not there. And especially when you're talking about that at that level, like you kind of don't have time to just like remold a player and remold his whole character or his whole personality and what he's willing to do. If you got when you have a short amount of time to get this thing going and get your franchise player, to the top of his ability.
But if you look at the combine also and guys who got overlooked, Tom Brady got overlooked.
Oh man,
He went to the 6th round. Brock Purdy was the very last pick.
Yeah.
In the draft.
So how do you explain away like those picks? How do you explain, because Tom Brady played at a, arguably
Michigan,
one
yeah.
of the biggest college football schools in America. How do you overlook somebody like that? I mean, what is it that they did or didn't see, and how does he get passed on by so many teams?
Because, so some guys start to get hype and they start to get attention,
Yeah,
right? I don't know all the other quarterbacks that came out when Tom came out,
yeah,
but other guys just kind of get this momentum.
yeah.
And then it's like, wait, you like him? Oh, yeah, no, I like him too.
And
then the next team, I like him too.
Yeah.
And then, like every other coach is like, God, what are those guys seeing? I'm not seeing. Yeah, I like them too, right? And so a lot of guys just get that hype and that buzz.
Start getting some momentum behind them.
And then while that's happening, there's tons of other guys who aren't getting the attention they should be.
Right. Just kind of falling by round. They're just going down. And once you've got a quarterback, that's
right. Patrick Mahomes coming out of the for the draft.
Yeah.
There were like plenty of quarterbacks picked before him, but Andy Reid saw something.
Sure. Yeah.
So
that's got to be a part of it that's so interesting too, because you see, like Sean McVay and Les Snead picking up Cooper Kupp, where they did. I mean, he went relatively high for a receiver that was coming out of Eastern Washington. That was
go Eagles.
yeah. When you think about like what he's turned into, there was something that they saw. And what was it, and how do you go through that? How do you look through film? And man, it's like needle in a haystack. How do you find a player that you are specifically looking for? And it seems like that's the case with, what Sean McVay and Les Snead did with Cooper Kupp, is they needed somebody this specific role, can do this specific thing.
Who fits in our system.
And found it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the luxury of being in the NFL. In high school, for me, we get our players – and we do what we can. We coach them up. We do what we can.
Yeah.
In the NFL, I need this guy to do a curl route, an out route, and he's got to run the corner route.
Yeah.
Show me the best guys that do that.
True, yeah.
And if Cooper Kupp's the guy, then, we want that guy.
Yeah.
So you just, plug and play a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I put who fits in your system specifically for your – what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that's freaking cool.
Yeah.
You get to
and
you get to hundreds of guys, and you got to find the guy.
Find that
and then hope no one takes them before you.
That's the other part of it too.
Yeah.
And talking about drama that starts, from the day after the Super Bowl, that's where we're at right now. That's the drama's starting right now. Where we're trying to, teams are trying to figure out who's that guy. Who's that guy coming into the draft that is going to be available when we have our draft pick, which is another part of it, another element of this whole equation, which is we've got a draft pick that's number whatever. Who's going to be there? We're trying to game plan for who's going to be in this position. I mean, I got to imagine, if you're in that war room, come draft day, you've got tens, dozens, hundreds of different scenarios of where you're going to land and who's going to be available, and where we're going to commit to if that player is available.
Yeah.
And if he's not available, who else is on that?
Yeah.
What do we need?
Tough cookies. Who's next?
What does that look like if you see a player that you've done all that vetting, you've found that right one, this is what we're going to go with, and if he's available, we're going to get him in this round. Then all of a sudden, there's another player that maybe doesn't fit your scheme or fit what you're trying to do, but this is just a prolific player that you can get him as a steal in that early round. Plan goes out the window.
Yeah, I know. What do you do? And then, but that's when the meeting of the minds happens, and the owner and the GM and the head coach kind of look at each other and are like, all right, guys, are we doing this? Or are we not doing this? Someone's got to make a decision, and you roll with it.
Yeah.
After that, and that's the thing. No matter what decision you make, you draft a guy, or at the college level, you offer that dude a scholarship,
right?
And they commit, and they're there. Dude, it's time to roll. Let's coach them up and let's get them going.
Yeah, we're in for a dime and for a dollar.
Dude, it's exciting though. I like watching the combine stuff. I dig it. I like watching dudes do drills and look at the little nuances. And then when when the draft rolls around, you're like, I could see why that guy got drafted at that. Or maybe that guy got overlooked, or stuff like that.
You do. It starts now, and you start figuring out where those guys are going to go. And I think the longer that we've watched football from high school, college, and NFL, it's kind of cool to see the progression. You hear about kids that have played at at high school level. And in our area, we've got a lot of local talent that has gone on to play in the NFL, and it's cool seeing that progression, seeing them play in college, and then seeing them go in the draft, and then see what they're doing now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of local guys that we've played against, guys that we've seen in our year, and then shortly after that, and then just as the time goes on, you're seeing all of these careers start, from the high school level, high school level, college level, and then on to the NFL.
And then when you see them in the NFL and you think back to when you played them, you can be like, I knew back then.
We knew he was going there.
He was going there. That guy was way better than me.
That guy was lifting up Gatorade coolers above his head, drinking our water. We knew he was going somewhere.
For sure. But man.
No, it's fun, but all right, we got to take a quick break. We'll take a quick break, come back, and we'll get into a new game. What do we got here?
It's called The Envelope.
Are we going envelope or are we going envelope?
Tomato, whatever you want to call it. The Envelope. It's from probably our number one fan.
I would say so. Yeah, I would put him up there at
Coach
the top.
B, also known as Big Dog.
Big Dog. Big Dog's got a game. Well, not so much a game, but more of just
an activity for us today.
Yeah, something to think about, something to chew on. So we got the envelope coming up next. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Today's episode is brought to you by DK's Donuts of Orange. DK's is family owned and operated and carries a wide selection of freshly baked donuts. Stop by for a morning treat, an afternoon snack, or even a late night sugar fix. Follow their Instagram page at DK's Donuts Orange for store information or to order online. All right, we're back from break. We got Big Dog's game. What do we got? Break it down for us.
Here it is. Real in the Field official envelope. We got some topics in here. We have no idea.
Yeah.
We're sealed, taped off. We have no idea.
How did this start? Big Dog, I mean, we'll give him a little, plug here and what Big Dog is about.
So I work with Coach Biagini. Okay. His nickname is the Big Dog, and he's a fan of the podcast. He was like, I'm going to throw some questions at you guys.
All right.
And I said, you know what? Put them in an envelope. And we'll just fire them off.
I love it.
And let's see what happens.
I love it.
All right. We haven't opened this yet.
All right.
We have no idea what's coming at us.
Let's see what Big Dog got cooking for us.
You want the honors? You want to go first?
I'll take the first one, sure.
No looking.
All right, no looking.
They're all folded up.
All right. There we go. Question number 1. What do we got here? Go-to party joke. Ooh.
Go-to party joke.
Go-to party joke.
Oof. I usually don't have a go-to party joke.
Yeah.
I usually have a go-to party story.
Okay.
I usually tell this story, if football gets brought up. I tell a college football story of mine.
All right, let's hear it.
And so we were traveling to Montana.
Okay.
And we're playing the Grizzlies. And
Montana State?
No, Montana State is the Bobcats. Montana's the Grizz. And I'm on the punt team.
Okay.
And the guy who was lining up against me he's the former the year before he was the Big Sky Special Teams Player of the Year.
Oh dang!
Blocked all these punts. He was a stud.
It's no joke.
Yeah, he's no joke. He's this fast dude. And so all week my coach is harping on me this guy's coming. Make sure you're ready. And I'm just oh God. I'm all right. So we go out to punt, get in my stance. Right, ball snapped. I'm blocking the guy, and I'm okay, that wasn't too bad. And then we're running downfield, and the ball's bouncing, and it gets down by by us.
Yeah.
And so we're running side by side, and all of a sudden he just looks at me and goes, "You're ugly." and I couldn't say a word, and so I'm running back to the sideline. I'm oh my God, am I ugly? And that's
Dude, you got your
that's
head.
my go-to story.
You got it in your head.
Yeah, I know it's not a joke, but that's my story every time.
Dude, that's a good one.
It was a quick jab of yeah.
Well, you got in your mind.
Man.
Jedi mind you.
It was so subtle and so just
That's one of those things that just kind of it's like planting a little seed, and then it'll just more and more you're thinking about it.
Dude, by the time I hit that sideline, I was so down on myself. I'm dude, I'm ugly. I'm one ugly guy. Yeah. So, not a joke, but a story. That's what my usual go-to.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. What do you got?
Go-to joke.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I want to hear it.
All right.
Maybe we'll keep it. We'll see.
No, we're not going to be able to keep it. It's really not.
I want to hear it.
All right. So, blue-collar worker goes to jail. He's goes to jail for some investment frauds or something like that. Just a blue-collar kind of crime, right?
Okay.
So he's in jail. He meets his bunkmate. And his bunkmate's all right, listen, you can be the husband or you can be the wife. I'll let you decide, but you gotta pick one or the other. We're gonna be in here. This is what we're gonna do, all right? So the guy's thinking to himself, and he's oh man, well, if I'm the wife, like I don't want anything part of that. You know, this guy's big old friggin' dude, his big old mitts, and
Yeah.
So he's like, if I'm the wife, like I don't want any part of that. All right, so maybe I'll be the husband in this scenario. You know what I mean? At least I'll be like the dominant one. So he's like, all right, yeah, I'll be the husband. And his bunkmate goes,
Oh God. Oh God. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Oh my God, dude.
that'll be on the director's cut.
Oh God, that is so good.
Oh man.
Okay. My turn to pick. Here we
All
go.
right, next one.
Next one. Let's see what we got here. Not looking. Something embarrassing that happened as a kid.
Oh, something embarrassing. All right. All right, I got something. It's all right. This is a little bit of a cheat because it's not embarrassing that happened to me, but it's kind of embarrassing. All right, so you remember Michael Salcedo?
Did you gonna say his name?
Oh shit! All right, we'll cut that one out. All right, somebody we played high school football with.
Okay.
Anyways, I used to go to his house and like we'd hang out. His dad used to cut his hair. So his dad was giving him giving him a trim, whatever, and gave him a little like fade, whatever it was, and then got to his sideburns and he cut one like down here and then cut one up here, and then he goes to Michael. Oh shit! Then he goes to, and then he goes to the guy that we know and goes, "Which one do you like better?" And he goes, "What the fuck does it matter? I gotta go with this one."
Oh, that's good. Oh God, that's good.
Then he went to school with the sideburn all the way up
high
to here. The high sideburn.
Oh, that's good. All right, embarrassing story.
What do you got?
I usually got two. The first one. So when my oldest brother was in high school playing football,
Yeah.
so he's 16, 17, so that means I'm like 8,
Yeah.
9 years old. And I used to run around like the stands, and I was like, "Oh, there's little Joey, little brother, or whatever." And I was like, cute kid, like playing with all the high school, or not playing with all the high school girls, but I was hanging out with all the high school girls and stuff.
Yeah.
They all kind of knew who I was and stuff. So I'm at the game,
Okay.
enjoying myself,
Yeah.
trying to have a good time. I'm standing up. Someone pantses me from behind. I get super embarrassed, pull my pants up, like totally traumatized.
Oh man.
Okay.
Yeah.
That person's name is Milo Ventimiglia, or whatever his name is.
Milo
The actor.
Ventimiglia.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
He
man.
went to the same school,
Yeah.
and that dude pantsed me.
That son of a bitch.
And now he's out there making millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's on hit TV shows making
Yeah.
money.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah,
what he did
dude,
to
we need
me.
to call that guy out.
Perv. So if anyone knows that guy, let him know. He owes me an apology.
Yeah, dude. Not cool.
Yeah.
Not cool, Milo. Oh man.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
That's pretty good.
Next topic. Next topic.
All right, what do we got?
Here we go. Thanks, big dog. These are fun.
That was pretty good. All right, next one we got is what is an irrational fear you have? Irrational fear. What irrational fear do you have?
I'm afraid of heights.
Heights, yeah?
I can't do roller coasters.
Yeah.
Yeah, roller coasters.
Is
Not
it
a fan of.
the loop-de-loop or is it the drop?
I'd say the drop.
Yeah. That little thing, a little feeling in your stomach that you get.
Everything
when you're
gets
going
tight.
down.
I just like, I get that on the drops. Oh, I can't stand it. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
With the heights. You ever go to like a high balcony building, whatever,
Sure. Yeah.
even a stadium,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I get afraid to walk to the edge and look over, but I have this really big urge to do it.
Oh yeah.
And then if I do it, the urge gets worse, and I have the urge to like jump.
That's like a
Yeah.
like a thing like that like climbers, like rock climbers have. It's like the opposite of a phobia. It's like whatever it is, that fear, it's like you get drawn to it and want to do it more.
Yeah.
There's this specific word for it, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
It's probably German too. But
Yeah.
it's like a specific word that you are attracted to this thing that is like you're afraid of.
Yeah. And so when I get
my
like at top
gosh.
and I like look over, like I play the whole thing out. Like, dude, what if I like did it? Like,
Dang. Yeah.
what if I like swan dived? Like,
Oh
what
my
would
God.
happen?
Dude, I used to get that feeling when I think I've told you this before. When I used to go do pulls with your pops, when he had a bum leg and he needed some help, like, like going out, like, doing the pulls, I went out with him and he would be just kind of kneeled over by the pool, like checking the pH, and I would be like scrubbing the sides, like coming around. And every time I got close to him, I was just like, oh man, what if I kick this guy in right now?
Oh, kick and spinner in the pool.
Dude, but it was like like an intrusive thought that came in.
Yeah.
That's what it is, right? It's the intrusive thought,
Yeah.
and you're just like you kind of like shudder at the thought of like doing something because you think about what would happen after. Oh man, I mean, Spinner would have been
Oh,
pissed.
yeah,
Obviously, it would
yeah.
have just been this like
Be walking home.
Yeah, but it was just like that feeling that you get when you're like walking. That I was walking
Yes.
by.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I got you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. My pick, your pick,
All right,
whose
next
pick?
one. Yeah, you got one.
My pick. Here we go. If you could do anything for a living, what would it be?
I mean, why not do NFL player? I mean, that's got to be one of the sweetest jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from kind of just beating your body up all the time, but the NFL, because it's got such a strong tie to us, our history, our just like what we grew up watching. That's what every kid like dreams about.
Yeah.
You play out that scenario when you're in your backyard and you're like, it's 4th and inches. And it's fourth quarter, we're down by this, whatever, and you're
Throw the pass to yourself.
yeah, dude, something that we've thought about like for years, and we've always like dreamed about getting on that like that stage, but then just genetics and reality get in the way. But no, that would be the dream job. That playing in the NFL, getting paid to play football, getting paid to compete. It's probably a lot more of a business once you get in it.
Oh, it's cutthroat.
You know what I mean?
Cutthroat for sure.
But when you see players like hoist that trophy and just like how they've gotten to the pinnacle of sports, of sports. That's like the pinnacle. I mean, sure you have all these other championships, but just football just seems to be like the pinnacle for us anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be the best. Yeah. What about you?
As weird as it sounds, I would do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Nothing
just
at all.
like if I just had money,
Just
right?
hang.
If I would just like be like a multimillionaire and just hang out,
Yeah.
I would like very much enjoy that.
That would be pretty
Just kind of
sweet.
hang out,
Hang
with
at the
kids
rib.
and stuff. Yeah. Oh, go to the river. Just
Yeah.
kind of like do whatever.
Yeah.
That would be wake up whenever you wanted
Yeah.
and just hang out.
Just hang.
That would be awesome.
Dude.
Because I always thought, like, say for whatever reason, if I became really, really rich, right, I would try to do some cool stuff and give back to people.
Yeah.
One thing I would love to do, I would get a map, and I would blindfold myself, and I'd have like someone turn me around, and I'd pick up a dart, and I'd throw it on the map, and wherever it landed,
Yeah.
I would go there and just like give people money.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
just for fun, just for fun, just like, yeah, just go Breaking Bad, like Jesse Pinkman, just start throwing money, just throw money out the window, yeah, and just have fun like that, or rent out like NBC and have them have to follow us on the golf course as we
Dude,
just
man.
shank balls everywhere. but they have to commentate like it's a real
Dude, getting,
tournament.
what was his name? Phil Nance. What's his name?
Yeah,
have
Jim
him-
Nance.
Jim Nance. Oh yeah. Phil's his brother. That's what I was thinking
Here
about.
comes Joe to the tee again. And they gotta take it serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, call it like straight.
Yes.
Like, all right,
Yeah.
here he comes. He's stepping up to the tee.
Yeah, and we're just with our carts out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that. Just stuff like that.
Oh, dude, that would be-
If I
yeah.
could do anything for a living, I would do nothing.
I love it.
I'd do what I wanted.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to do a lot more nothing when we come back. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll get into a little bit of real estate talk. So stay tuned. We'll be back. Today's episode is brought to you by Caliber Real Estate Group. Caliber and their team of experienced agents are dedicated to providing personalized and professional service to ensure that your real estate goals are met with ease. Caliber specializes in a wide range of properties from luxurious estates to cozy starter homes, and they have the expertise to guide you through every step of the buying or selling process. Click the link in the episode's page to start your journey towards finding the perfect property or getting top dollar for your investment. All right, we're back. All right, something I wanted to get in today. It's a topic that not a lot of people know about, something that it's so important in everyday life. It has an effect on everything that we do financially, and that's credit. So credit is the thing that really no one teaches you about. I didn't learn about credit until I was, I don't know, like late into my 20s. And even by then, I had kind of already done some things to mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, you get signed up for a credit card for $500 and they say, oh, here you go. Here's $500. You don't know the implications of running that credit card up and just never paying the bill.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I was later or a little bit older that I understood that, you know, how that plays a part in your overall like financial, just what you look like financially. So credit there's a score that you're given, right? It's a collective score on all of your financials of what you've paid, what you have outstanding, what lines of credit cards that you have, and the way that they like kind of add up your credit and what they give you that score. It's kind of like a mixture of all those things. They'll look at your credit and what you have open and say, hey, you don't have enough of this open, so you know your credit score is gonna not be as high because of that.
Okay, so what do you mean open, like credit cards?
Credit cards.
Or you're paying off a TV, you're paying off
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of different lines of credit. I mean, you can go to a department store and they'll say, hey, do you want to open up a Nordstrom card? And you'll go, oh, sure, we'll give you 10% off your purchase. So you open up this thing and you think it's just some innocuous account that you're going to open up, but that's actually a credit account that you're opening up.
Yeah.
That plays into your credit score. So when you have, let's say, like take that example of a Nordstrom credit card, they'll give you a $2,000 credit line. That part, they're playing that part gets, or that card gets thrown into your overall credit rating. And they'll say, you know, here's an available balance that this person has that they can use at any point. And there's a potential that they could run up this credit card and, you know, and have to pay it back. So it's all based on what you can pay back, right? And how they look at what you have outstanding and then what is the potential for outstanding.
Okay, so let's take the Nordstrom's card, for instance. Say I go open a Nordstrom's card and I buy, I don't know, 3 suits.
Yeah.
And I put it on the card.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it better to pay it off in increments, or is it better to like one lump sum, I pay it off?
Yeah.
Or like what is the best like avenue to build the credit?
So
Like how to show I'm responsible, or
Yeah.
like, what are they looking at?
So, well, there's a couple different like mindsets there. One of them is every credit card that you have a balance on, you're going to pay interest on. So if you have a $2,000 balance on a credit card and you have used all $2,000 of it, they're going to charge you interest on that. Now, some credit cards are, you know, something like 25%. Some of them, you know, they kind of like will fluctuate, or they'll, you know, they have just different percentages. If you're paying interest on that, I mean, you're essentially just giving money to these companies to borrow their money. So, a lot of, smart people will say, pay down your credit card so that you're not paying this interest. That's the best way to get rid of your debt and not have any any new debt.
Yeah.
And also so that you're not paying this, kind of like a fee for borrowing the money. That I think would be what a lot of people would say is the best way to do it. Now that's not always like possible or feasible if you have like a really high credit card that you've used for X, Y, or Z, and then your plan is to kind of pay it off in increments. Sometimes you need to hold off on paying that full lump sum and just spread it out over a couple months.
Okay.
In terms of what that score is going to look like, that's another part of it. Is if you're looking to like buy a house and you are looking to get your credit score as high as you can and bring down your debt to income ratio, which is a ratio that they use to say how much money that you owe compared to how much money you bring in. If you have high debt on all of your credit cards, like the Nordstrom card or whatever card you have, then they're going to look at that and they're going to say, hey, you have all this outstanding debt here, and what you're bringing in monthly, it isn't going to be enough to support this card, and then plus a mortgage. So we're gonna, we're not going to allow you to borrow as much because your debt to income ratio isn't all that great, or we're not going to let you borrow at all.
Okay, so what if you open that Nordstrom's card and you don't really use it?
Yeah.
Does it help your credit, or is it just kind of nothing?
So it does. So credit, the way they want to kind of see a mixture of different lines of credit. So
Okay.
if you have, let's say, an open credit card, a revolving credit card, which means you've got a balance. They give you a set amount of balance, and then you can borrow as much from that balance or from that credit line, and then pay it back. If you have one of those cards, that's good. If you have something like a Nordstrom card, which is a revolving credit card, that's good. You can have a car payment. They want to see just kind of a mixture of those things. But
so they want to see you being responsible.
They want to see you be responsible with the payments, that you're not overextending yourself, that if you do have a credit card, you're kind of sticking within the means of that credit card. You're not over your balance. And then you're also making your payments on time.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. When they look at your credit score and they look at all those green check marks that have happened, if you have a really old credit card, I have a credit card from back when I was, out of high school, that $500 credit line that I just did whatever with. I ended up, kind of paying it back, getting it back in good standing. And then over the years, I have that credit card still to this day. And I'll just put some, I'll put Spotify on it or something like that to where it's like just hitting every month, and then I'll pay it off.
Yeah.
Because that's another part of it too that nobody told me is if you don't use these cards, they will reduce your balance or your credit line. So
so that also looks bad on you.
So that also looks bad, yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty, they could do a class on just like, getting your credit up just by itself to tell you the tricks of the trade. And admittedly, I don't know all of the tricks on how to do it.
Yeah.
There are things that you can do to boost your credit score. And, in talking about buying a house, there are, which is why it's important to kind of talk to like a financial advisor or the lender to kind of figure out, all right, where you're at with all of this. If you have high balances on some of your credit cards, bringing them down to this certain, to this amount to where people or the bank will look at what you have outstanding and see that you have a mixture of credit, you have low balances on them, and you also have been making payments regularly to this. And it's all just your financial, like a snapshot of your financial capability.
Responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are some ways, so if that's ways to like boost it, open up multiple lines of credit, pay things off, make sure you're on time.
Yeah.
What are ways to like drop it? What are
missing a payment is number one. Missing
Okay.
a payment and letting it go 30 days, 60 days, 90 days past is the killer. Even if you're just making your minimum payment, you're better off doing that than letting it lapse. If you can scrounge up, the amount of money that it would cost you, the amount of money that it would cost you to, kind of recoup whatever the loss that you would have from getting a lower credit score, it's worth it just to scrounge up that money and pay that minimum payment if that's the situation.
Yeah.
Because getting a late payment on your credit, it's so easy to do and so hard to undo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can miss a payment, forget about it, not put it on auto pay. All of a sudden you've got 30 days past due, 60 days past due, you forget about it. And now you've got this red mark, all of these green check marks of where you made your payments, but then those 2 red marks where you missed it, 30, 60, 90, God forbid, you do a 90-day. Those are the things that the underwriter, who is the person that's going to take all of your finances and be the one to give the final sign off, is going to look at that and go, what happened here? Why didn't you pay that bill here? What was the reason?
Talk yourself out of those? If they're like, oh, hey, what happened here? You're like, oh, well, I
COVID.
Had COVID. Yeah, and I didn't make, I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever excuse.
Well, the thing is, you'll start to see a pattern. You'll start to see a pattern of behavior. And in that scenario, a 30-day late payment, if you've got all your payments made on time, will stick out as like this is an anomaly, or this is something that's not the regular. But conversely, if you've got 30 late payments like consistently, then that starts to kind of show a pattern of what your financial kind of like that snapshot looks like. And I think, kind of what it all comes down to is, banks are adverse to risk in that they do not want to lend somebody money and there be any chance that they're not going to pay it back. They want the most secure person that's going to be responsible, pay back that loan, what they've borrowed, and pay it in a timely manner. In thinking about like credit scores and paying things back and all of that, if we're kind of talking about like who's going to be most likely to pay it back, having no credit or having not a lot of different credit is almost better than having credit where you've or credit cards that you've messed up and you've got 30 days, 60 day late, all these late payments. Starting off where you are still kind of trustworthy and you've built up a reputation of not paying your bills is still, a really strong place to be in.
Okay. Who does the evaluating? Like, who are these credit companies? Right? Because I've heard there's a couple different scores.
Yeah.
You can look it up. Some of them you have to pay for.
Yeah.
I remember this because I've ran my credit before.
Yeah.
It knocks your credit down when you run your credit.
Yeah, it does.
Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the line of thinking is,
think if you did that medically. Hey, I need a blood test to test my testosterone. How are my T levels? And they're like, well, we drew some blood. They're down a little more now. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. I think the line of thinking is if you're going around to Nordstrom, you're going to a mortgage guy, you're going around to all these things, all these different places, and you want to go, hey, I want to borrow some money. Hey, I want to borrow some money. Hey, can I borrow some money? Hey, can I borrow some money? They look at that and go, hey, that's not a good thing to do. We don't want you going out there just willy-nilly, just like asking everybody for money.
Yeah, but if you just like, hey, I want to check my credit, and they're like, all right, we'll mark that down.
Well, we're going to mark that down.
Yeah, why are you going to mark that down?
Well, you actually are allowed to have your credit pooled, I believe it's once a year.
Okay.
Just for your own, so that you can kind of see what your standing is.
Dude, because I have no idea where mine is at.
Yeah.
Because the one time I did it, and they were like, oh, by the way, that marked you down.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm not going to do that.
Never going to do that again.
I'm not going to do that again until I have to.
Well, you can actually, so you can open up a like an Equifax account that'll give you you can look into it anytime yourself. And it'll give you just kind of like some, it's not a hard hit on your credit to where you are pulling it. It's your own account that you open up, and they'll kind of give you, they'll give you access to it and say, hey, here are the things that we see on your credit, and here's what, kind of theoretically what your score would be if you were to pull it right now. It's actually a useful tool because you can actually do things like, what would happen if I opened up a credit card? And then it'll say, your score will go this direction.
Wow. Okay.
What if I got an auto loan? oh, if you got an auto loan, that is different than the other lines of credit that you have. That'll boost your credit. That'll boost your score. The problem is you can boost your score with opening up a line of credit for an auto loan,
Right.
but that'll reduce your debt to income ratio. You know what I mean? So you could have a lower score but still be in a better position because your the debt to income ratio is better with not having a $40,000 like auto loan on your score. This is why when I say
they're getting you from every angle,
and it's so difficult to navigate this, and why it's so important to talk to somebody to be able to figure out what that looks like and what that plan should be.
Because and specifically for you
and what your goals are, your financial goals and your purchasing a house goals. Because I mean, the worst thing that you can possibly do, just to kind of like in talking about things that you can do to lower your score, if you were to, let's say, apply for a loan and you submitted all your documents and said, this is what I owe, I don't have a car payment, here's my credit cards, here's all my financials, and a bank looked at that and went, all right, it sounds pretty good, we'll give you X amount of dollars. You go out, you put an offer on a house, it gets accepted, you're in escrow, you're just about, like the bank's gonna fund the loan, but then you go, I'm feeling good about that house purchase, I'm gonna go get myself a car so I can, I'm gonna go get a truck so I can go haul some stuff to and from my house. If I'm gonna do some, home improvements, I'll have this truck. I'll go buy that right now. Well, now your debt to income ratio gets all jacked up.
Yeah.
And now you don't qualify for that loan anymore. And now you're screwed because your debt to income ratio is all out of whack. I mean, it's like the kiss of death, when you're like in escrow, it won't get funded and there you go, you've just lost your house. But that's the thing, it's so important to know how all of this stuff plays a part.
Yeah.
And admittedly, I had no idea how this stuff worked when I was younger. I had no idea what the implications were of opening a credit card, opening a Nordstrom card, opening a Macy's card, opening whatever card. And not that I have any of those, but yeah, those are the implications. And nobody ever tells you about it. Nobody ever tells you, what potholes to look out for. You're just kind of on your own to figure that out.
Yeah, but that's really good, like info and advice and building credit. Obviously, credit's a huge aspect of buying a home.
Oh, it's probably, it's one of, I can't say it's the biggest, but it plays such a huge part.
Yeah.
Because a lender will look at what your credit score is, and that'll be the determining factor of what interest rate you get, what you qualify for. If you've got a low credit score, well, you're not going to get that, that really competitive interest rate. And interest rates can, they can make a difference in your overall budget, in your monthly budget. So it's an important part. It's a critical part in the whole lending process. So yeah, it's important to kind of get all that kind of situated. And part of the game plan of getting into buying a house, and we've talked about what your journey is going to be, and so that's another part of it.
Just got to tune in next week.
Next week.
Well, thanks, dude. That's good. I like that credit stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for today's episode.
Yep.
Yeah. Tune in next week. We're gonna have another episode out next week. Yeah, we'll keep on trying to find Belgian Buddy.
Yeah.
This guy's elusive.
Yes. Where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Out there?
Where's Waldo? We know you're watching. We see the numbers. So yeah, write us. Let us know where you're at. Yeah. If you like what you heard, like and subscribe. Just put a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think, and yeah, we'll keep pumping these things out. So stay tuned until next week, till we get another episode of Real in the Field.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, yeah. And that was our show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section below. And as always, we'll be back next week with a new episode of Real in the Field podcast. Until then, I'll talk to you.